Hi, you will notice that the Forever Athlete program often has tempo prescriptions for some of the resistance training exercises that you will do. And if you haven't worked with tempo before, it can be kind of confusing. So I'm going to show you how that will work. So with tempo, you can have many different tempos listed for your exercises. Examples might be a 3-0-1-0 or a 2-1-1-2. Just two common examples you might see. And so what these numbers mean, the first number is the eccentric contraction. And when you think of an eccentric contraction, you're thinking about controlling the weight. You're not lifting it, but you're controlling it. So the muscles are still working, but they're not doing what we would think of as the muscles working. The second would be the transition between the eccentric or concentric. So this would be sometimes an exercise will have a pause or a hold in a certain spot. That would be where this goes. The third exercise is the concentric. This is what we usually think about when we lift weights. So for instance, this is the pushing the bar off of your chest of a bench press. This is the curling the bicep of a bicep curl. This is the lifting the bar off the floor in a deadlift. This is the pulling the bar to your chest in a lat pull down. Whatever you're doing, you're performing the action, you're moving. This is what we usually think of when we think of lifting weights. And then the fourth one is the transition between the concentric and eccentric. So again, this could be a hold or a pause. Like a common one I might use is on an upper back exercise. You pull the weight to you, and then sometimes they'll tell you to hold it for a certain amount of time so you can squeeze those muscles, get them strong. If your shoulders are unstable, we might press a weight above our head and then hold for a period of time, focusing on stabilizing that shoulder. That's where that will come in. Now to kind of explain this further, now that you know what these are, so if we're looking at a 3-0-1-0 tempo and say we're going to do a squat, basically that would be you squat down and you lower for 3 seconds because we're eccentric, we're controlling the weight, so we're going to lower 1, 2, 3. Because the second number is a 0, that means you don't have to pause, you just immediately go up. And 1 will be that. And typically most exercises, if it says a 1, especially if it's a compound exercise, I want you lifting explosively. If it's more of an isolation or single joint exercise, you'll be lifting the weight with a little bit more control, but a compound, lift it explosively. So on our squat, we're trying to stand as fast as we can. And then at the top, it says 0, so you don't need to hold it, although certain exercises like squats and stuff, you might need to take a second to get a breath before the next rep. That's completely fine. Now, to kind of look at this from a different way, if we use a lat pull down, this is why it's important to know eccentric, concentric. So a lat pull down, even though it's written 3-0-1-0, it applies a little differently. So the lat pull down, because you're starting with the concentric part of the movement, you're going to explosively pull it down to your chest. And in a 3-0-1-0 example, you're going to pull down to your chest, you're not going to hold it all, and then you will let the weight raise up, controlling it for 3 seconds. And then once you're at the top, you'll immediately come back down since it's 3-0-1-0. So know eccentric from concentric. And then just kind of show you something with some holds or tempos. Say we're doing a dumbbell row. Here's another one where you start the concentric. So you'll lift up explosively for 1 second. You'll squeeze and hold for 2 seconds. You'll lower for 2 seconds and then pause on the bottom for 1 second before coming back up. So that's how tempos work. If you have any questions, make sure to ask and I can help you out.